Ghost towns and shipwrecks, Namibia's haunted hotspots. Namibia is a place of starkness, and within the desolation lie various intriguing stories which have kept a certain kind of mystique around the area for many years. Human beings have a strange fascination with the afterlife, whether they believe in the supernatural or not. It almost becomes addictive. It certainly isn't the only reason why people choose to travel to Namibia, but many travels to this part of Africa to experience this feeling, this excitement. The Skeleton Coast alone has captured the imagination of wanderers for decades with its eerie shipwrecks. The ghost town of Kolmanskop is literally returning to the sand from whence it came, and there is a house just outside of Windhoek called Liebig House which has been abandoned for over 30 years. It's now almost like some kind of national monument, and people have stories of seeing and hearing spirits in the hallways of the house. Mining Kolmanskop. This once thriving mining town, if translated from English to Afrikaans, translates to Coleman's Hill. Today it's almost swallowed by the sand for which it is built. The ghostly town is situated roughly 10 km from Luderitz in southern Namibia. This was an area where diamonds were found, however over the years people started to leave. It's still believed that ghosts haunt the once quaint miners' village. Today it's become a popular tourist destination, however since it's a diamond-restricted area controlled by De Beers, one has to arrange a permit to visit. However, this has not stopped the desolately haunting destination from becoming a popular place to visit. Liebig House. This beautiful old and strikingly iconic house is situated not from the capital of Namibia, Windhoek, near the Denviljo and Park turnoff. It's become a strange kind of attraction for curious onlookers for many years now, and its origins date back to the early 1900s when the once German colony was just being established. Online one can find recollections of said hauntings at this location of an old German woman for which no one seems to know much about. There has also been a word that it was the home of Alexander Scotland, who is believed to have served as a British secret agent during German rule. There have been many strange stories that have come out of this iconic place, however this hasn't stopped it from being a popular place for people to visit who have a passion for the paranormal. Fairy circles in the desert. Among the many natural wonders of the Namibian desert are its fairy circles, hundreds of circular patches scattered across barren land. Many urban myths have emerged as to the origin of these unique circles, with some claiming that they are footprints of God. According to one oral myth of the Himba, the circles were left by gods, while another has it that an ancient dragon living beneath the earth's crust burns the vegetation on the surface of the earth by breathing fire onto it. The legend of Hatesiabab. Hasebor Hatesiabab is said to have saved the world from a monster which had caught many travelers in its pit. According to oral tradition, the demon sat beside his pit and mocked anyone who passed by. He challenged these passers-by to throw a stone at him, and most of the time they did, even though the stones would bounce off him. He would then use this opportunity to catch the passers-by off guard and throw them into his pit. Haseb eventually overpowered the demon, saving the world in the process. Haseb is also highly revered because the moon and the stars are said to have risen from his breast. He saved the animal world by removing lions nesting in trees and fish from the desert. The grave of Haseb is said to be in different locations, either along walkways or near waterholes. These graves are called Hatesiabab, the grave of Haseb, a deity. Travelers have since then always placed stones and other offerings on the graves. Anyone visiting these graves is expected to show respect and upon leaving, should never turn back. The Legend of Makoroo. The Herero legend about the origin of man says that Makoroo and his wife Kamungarunga descended from the roots of a sacred tree known as the Amumbarambanga. The scientific name of this tree is Cambaretum imberbe, but it's also commonly known as leadwood, literally meaning the tree of lead because of its inability to float on water. The Herero also believe that their prized cattle descend from the leadwood tree, while other animals and tribes descend from common flowers and have crawled out of the earth. The Amumbarambanga is revered as the father of life, and when the Herero come across these trees they show respect to it by throwing twigs at its roots. The Quen the elephant. The people from the Zambezi region of northeastern Namibia believed that elephants were originally human, and so their myths depict elephants as strong and wise chieftains and police officers. In one story, the elephant gets its nose stretched out after beating a hippo in a game of tug-of-war. In another story, the elephant gets its nose stretched after a fight with a crocodile. The second story serves as a warning to people about an elephant's temper, the mantis and the san. Mantis was the giver of life and the original giver of fire. The san do not regard the mantis as a god, but rather as a higher form of a human who represents the san's idea of the ideal person. They represented him well in their ancient rock art, which can still be seen across rocky and mountainous regions in Namibia. Mantis is said to have brought the san fire by snatching it from beneath an ostrich's wings. The ostrich kept fire under his wings to prepare his food, which tasted so much better than everyone else's. The mantis, used to eating his food raw, tricked the ostrich and snatched the fire for himself. It is said that this humiliating loss is the reason why ostriches cannot fly, opting to keep their wings pressed tight to preserve the little fire they have left. The legend of the upside-down tree. Legend has it that the baobab tree, upside-down tree, or ghost tree got to look this way because of neglect and a lack of appreciation. The baobab is said to have constantly compared how it looked to other trees and deemed its peers more attractive. After getting fed up with all its complaints and questions as to why other trees were better looking, God picked the baobab up and replanted it upside down, leaving it unable to ever see its reflection in the nearby lake and complain again. Fish River Canyon. Namibia's Fish River Canyon may be one of the top visited tourist attractions, but many who visit are unaware of the legend of how it came into being. According to the San people, a serpent named Makoroo looked for refuge within the massive territory of the canyon while escaping would-be captors. Makoroo was so enormous that he was larger than a hippo. Chased by hunters, he fled into the desert and began to burrow. This was how the canyon was formed.